Jimmy Dore on the Boogaloo boy, on that one Boogaloo boy, is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. That Boogaloo boy had said that he's engaged in gay sex. That is, I have never heard any right-winger ever just come out and say shit like that. So, Sam Cedar's point is, this guy would probably fight against us in the Civil War. I'm not for sure. I don't know if Jimmy actually asked him that question. So that's Sam's point, is that ultimately if it comes down between left versus right, he's going to be on the wrong side of the Civil War. Now, Jimmy Dore's making all the right points. Jimmy Dore's rhetoric is on point. He's on fire right now, and I'm going to keep on clicking every single one of his videos and commenting and liking, and, you know, Jimmy Dore's a beast. Jimmy Dore's fantastic. So I committed the offense of interviewing a pro-Black Lives Matter, pro-LGBTQ libertarian, exactly as predicted in the video below. I got bad faith attacked and smeared as supporting white supremacy. So thanks for the attacks, because I've been trending all last night and today. And here's a full interview. Here's a little clip, a little 1 minute, little zinger.
I presume this interview that I did with this young man is going to be used to attack me. And this interview is not an endorsement of any group, because I don't know how representative this person is of an entire group. So I heard him say he was against ICE and he was anti-war. He was against the corporate takeover of our government. And
against ICE? A right-wing militiaman who's against ICE? Who's in favor of Black Lives Matter? Who's in favor of gay folks and their rights?
He was against police brutality. Now, some people are going to switch this to say Jimmy Dore's defending Boogaloo boy, racist, white nationalist, or whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't know about the Boogaloo boy specifically. All I know is what that guy told me. I'm talking about that guy, and so is he. So I was talking about my guest on my show who says he's in the Boogaloo boys, and he says that you have to be not a racist, you have to be anti-racist to be in the Boogaloo. That's what he was saying.
So, a right-wing militia guy who's anti-racist, pro-gay rights, anti-ICE. Jimmy Dore is correct. He is absolutely ripe for an organization, a leftist organization, to win him over. He's mostly left. What is the right-wing thing? Where is the right-wing appeal?
So just so you know, so I know people are going to twist this and say Jimmy is defending Boogaloo boys and white race. I'm not. I was talking about the guest I had on my show and the stuff he said.
So Jimmy Dore's rhetoric is absolutely correct on this, because he's going to reference how the Black Panthers had reached out to the Confederate flag waving sons of bitches. And then in the long term, the Confederate flag waving sons of bitches put their Confederate flag down because they realized that they had more in common with the Lord Kings, the King Lords, and the Black Panthers than they did with the, you know, dirty, Confederate, low-life, racist pieces of shit. So, Jimmy Dore's point is, in order to build coalitions, yeah, you want to, you know, essentially be amongst allies, be amongst friends, be amongst a bunch of lefties, and let's talk amongst each other, and let's try to figure out where we're going to go from here. Jimmy Dore's point is, though, if he's going to reach across the aisle all the way to these right-wing militias to try to win them back over to, you know, having a heartbeat, having a conscience, to being opposed to ICE, to being in favor of gay rights, and to being against, ICE and racism. That Boogaloo boy was against racism. That Boogaloo boy is a gay man, or bisexual at the very least. He's against ICE, he's against racism, and he's a gay man. What about that says on, you know, is a right, none of that's right-wing. And so in the Civil War, I think that he would be somebody that could go either way. And so you could just dismiss him and hope that, you know, because he doesn't have your friendship, that somehow he'll just, you know, recognize the error of his ways, or you can engage in dialogue and say, here's what we believe, here's how I view the world. The Black Panthers is a fantastic political party, a fantastic organization. Anybody should do what they are doing. You have the tribalism. You have to, you know, essentially protect yourselves in America And the Black Panthers' biggest threat for J. Edgar Hoover was their breakfast, their free breakfast program. The Black Panthers were feeding their own black children. And they were, talking to them about America, and they said that was like some sort of indoctrination, Mendoza kind of. So Jimmy Dore is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. We can, talk amongst the left, figure out a strategies and tactics, but we do need to try to win over everybody. Try to win over everybody. Maybe he's gone and lost, and maybe you don't see any hope for that guy whatsoever. But Jimmy Dore laid it out, and there's a lot of hope, actually, with this Boogaloo boy. There's a lot of hope. There was something he had typed here. I'm trying to find it, looking, because he was kind of saying, so this guy's pro-Black Lives Matter, anti-police brutality, anti-racism, anti-ICE, anti-war, pro-gay rights, radicalized Michigan anarchist, seeks unity with the left. He does call himself an anarchist, and he seeks unity with the left. So why would the left be opposed to it? The left keeps on calling for unity, the force to vote shit. But meanwhile, people are saying, hey, we want to, be in solidarity with the left, and we're going to say no. We need as many people as we can get. We need a critical mass of people, and if there's not enough independents and lefties and Democrats, then we're going to need the right-wing militias. Look at the nation. Look at how the voting went down. Essentially, half the country is for defund the police. Let's think of a different way when it comes to policing, and the other half of the country are a bunch of Nazi, psycho, MAGA fucks. A bunch of deplorable, right-wing, racist, fascist pieces of shit. So it's about 50-50. We could just say we got the 7 million more, we got the votes, but, there's a lot of non-voters, so you don't actually know who the majority's on. So we need to win the hearts and minds of all the American people, and I think Jimmy Dore reaching out, they had a good conversation. It was interesting. He was right that Sam Seder was going to use it to smear him, and then he got to point out that the Black Panthers had reached out to the Confederates. So does that mean Jimmy Dore can't talk to the Confederates or the Nazis or the KKK? I can't stand them motherfuckers. And, part of me just wants to say, fuck them. But the other part says if you reach out and they evolve and they become better people, then that's ultimately what we want. You change their heart, you change their minds. So Jimmy Dore, had an interview with the Boogaloo boy. He didn't endorse the Boogaloo boys. He says it's not representative of the entire thing. It's just one man's opinion, one man who grew up as a hippie. His parents were hippies. So, yeah, he's absolutely right that this man is ripe. He's against the war. He's against ICE. He's against racism. He's against police brutality. He's in favor of Black Lives Matter. He's in favor of gay rights. And so how is he not ripe to come over to the good side where the water is delicious? The water is fresh and clean and crisp. Hey, Boogaloo boy! Come on, man, we're against the war, we're hippies, we're about peace. I don't know what the right-wing militia thing, what the appeal is. I don't know. He's an anarchist, which means he believes in no government. He posted that transgendered people have more of a right to exist than government does. That's progressive as fuck. He's defending transgendered. Obama was defending, and then Trump was against the transgender. So this, right? Trump was all about ICE and immigration. He's against ICE and immigration. Trump was all about racism. He's against racism. He was all about the police. He's against police brutality. He was against Black Lives Matter. He's all about Black Lives Matter. There's pro-gay rights, anti-war. Donald used the rhetoric of anti-war, but he was an imperial president. So none of those things is consistent with Donald's ideology or any of the right-wing militias that I have ever, the hate groups. They're not KKK, they're not Nazis, and they're not Confederates. I would like to have, I got more questions for that Boogaloo boy. I got more questions for that QAnon shaman, too. He dressed right for the part, but, yeah. So, Jimmy Dore, let's, I guess we can listen to a little bit of it, and then, just chillax, bro. Just chillax. This is 8:21 into it.
Porter types have been sending me news articles about how the Boogaloo boys are violent, racists, and terrorists, and they even killed a cop, and they've got a couple of them got arrested on the way to a rally, a Black Lives Matter rally, and they had explosives. Now, that's not made up, right? I saw it on
No.
60 Minutes.
No, that's not made up, and obviously we're an entire national movement. You know, hundreds of thousands of people. You're gonna have idiots. You're gonna have accelerationists and extremists and people that do things that we don't want them to do.
Accelerationist. That's interesting. You got this little something that's blurred out. So they got Jimmy Dore, and then he's got like a video, a video screen, and there's something that's blurred out in the background. It looks like maybe a big ass bong. Maybe a dildo, maybe a swastika. I don't know. It doesn't look like, it looks like nothing, really. Maybe it's something on the floor or something, but it was just like, interesting that Jimmy Dore show's got his shit together. He can, you know, delete something in other people's video that's apparently not allowed to go out into the world.
It's harder now that we're banned off of all social media that we can't even keep track of the idiots in our movement and deal with them. So that's, you know, been fun.
Oh, so you're saying that by suppressing the speech of the most extreme members and the most violent members, it's now hard to tell who they are.
Yeah, and a lot of, you know, people on Twitter and everything will be like, oh, you know, you guys might not be neo-Nazis, but there are neo-Nazi Boogaloo people. And I'm like, well, I don't know where they are. I can't find them or talk to them. They're on a million different websites, so I can't deal with them. We can't go out and purge these people from our movement because we've been blown all over the internet. When we were all on Facebook, we had this under control. We never had this problem. But once we got banned off of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I even got banned off of Google and PayPal.
Yeah, I know. I know. And so you're saying the censoring of people more extreme than you, and actually people who are violent, the censoring of their speech is now actually creating a bigger problem because it's harder to identify those people and weed them out.
Absolutely. Like when we were all on Facebook and we would be in group messenger and everything, and a guy was like, oh, I had a really bad day. I think I'm just going to, you know, do something stupid. I'm going to fly off the handle. We can't wait any longer. We could all talk him down and be like, no, that's stupid. Don't go out and do that. That's not what we're about. And we could all work that out. Now that guy is on some parlor chat very deeply around a bunch of really iffy people egging him on. And there's no one there to tell him, hey, that's not what this movement's about. We're not here to just go out and shoot cops.
The guy's making a lot of good points.
It's never been what it's about.
Seems like a nice, laid-back gentleman.
I've been told that the Boogaloo
got that
boys
beard.
want a racial civil war.
No, not at all. The whole calling it a Boogaloo, the whole meme behind it was just that it's a bad sequel to original because it came from the Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo movie, which was just a bad sequel to a bad movie. And in our context, it just means some form of civil conflict, whether that be a peaceful singing revolution, whether that be some awful government civil war, whether that be a second revolutionary civil war, or to the idiot neo-Nazi types, they would consider it a...
I like the peaceful singing revolution. That sounded nice.
Forever.
So let's do that peaceful singing revolution, huh? It's not a bad idea. Jimmy Dore's right, as always. Peace.